The biggest lesson in the MSP model or the MSP world is that we have really smart and talented people, and we'd be silly not to listen to them. A lot of what we're taught is to, at least as an MSP, is to standardize everything, to make the technology stack of the customer the same. It makes it easier to support, and we're just a little bit different than that. We tend to focus on a great customer experience. And that doesn't always mean we're going to rip out what they have and replace it with a standard set of technologies. It's really about how we can serve them, serving their missions. And with that, we need probably more people than most MSPs. We tend to think in terms of having too much of everything, so we can be responsive to them not only when it comes to opportunity, but also when Murphy hits in their business.
Organizations, when they first start out, they might put themselves in a position where the customer knows best. And so they find themselves really trying to do things that they shouldn't be doing or maybe aren't capable of doing. So they let the customer really lead the relationship. And we find ourselves now going to the customer and having to disagree with them at times and educate them on what good looks like. And that just seems to make more sense. We come in as the experts instead of, hey, I'm a customer, I want this thing, give me that thing. And we sometimes have to reset with them and say, that's not actually what you need in this situation. We help educate them to what the right solution might look like.
Just trying to figure it out and grow was one of the hardest things for us, and I think that leveraging people who knew better than us and investing in those relationships was critically important. So our involvement in peer groups specific to our industry was a big catalyst for us in our growth. And so I would say, if there's any one thing I would tell a business owner is get involved sooner with your peers than you think. And we're not afraid of sharing this information with our peers, even the local ones. We find that there's always something to learn, and there's always an opportunity to give as well.
We've seen a lot of transition in those last 26 years from much more of a reactive customers call as they need to much more proactive, much more guidance-based, much more consultative-based. So I think, if we look back to do it over, we'd focus more on proactive consulting versus reactive, but that's easy to say when you know 26 years of history.
Well, I probably wish I would have started managed services earlier. 10 years ago seems like a long time for managed services, but we had already started using like Hound Dog, which was kind of the progenitor of SolarWinds. We had used that in our regular meetings, and I just didn't project at that point that there was enough infrastructure available to really run managed services. And we saw some other companies that were starting to do managed services, and we didn't see much value in what they were charging and with the service they provided. I just wish I would have started earlier, because again, it would have made our growth even that better, and we would have had a much earlier start in the industry.